What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Survivor Buffs, episode 8 recap. I'm Gideon. This is Adam. Before we get started, please remember to hit us up with a little subscribe if you haven't already. The sub button's right under this video. Just hit it. Why not? Also, hit that like button if you like it, and comment throughout this video and let us know what your thoughts on what we're saying. The last little plug, please become a member if you want to. There's a join button next to the subscribe button. You can become a member. We currently have one member. What's his face? What's his name?
Barry Dean.
Barry Dean, our one member. We appreciate you, Barry. Thanks for being a member. Yeah, and make sure you tune in next week. We have a very special guest coming on our show for the recap. Peridium, the king of Survivor YouTube. So yeah, a lot of info there. But let's hop into what happened in the episode. Adam, did you like the episode?
Well, I didn't like the outcome because go ahead and share the screen so I can. Sorry, I thought I had this loaded up. Okay, let me share the screen. We'll get this out of the way now. I was crushing Gideon at the beginning. What did you have, like the first 4 vote outs?
Yeah. If you look at the list, I had the first 4 vote. Only JD was voted out for you. But
yeah, but I've had the last 2. But Sydney and Tiffany, who been pretty high on. Pretty high on those 2, as you guys know. So no, Tiffany was out, who was my female winner pick of the season from the get-go.
Yeah,
Really excited to see her play. Saw a lot of winner potential in her. A little disappointing, but I was rooting for the whole time. But episode was good. I thought the episode was good. I feel like the last 2 episodes have really started to amp up, which I kind of had a feeling it was going to do that.
Same.
A lot of power players left. I mean, if you look at the people that are still up, I mean, besides maybe Erica, Liana, and Heather, because Liana's sort of getting into that position where it's like, is she going to win? Is she?
Liana's less of a power player and more of like a jester. She's like the court jester that is the butt of all the blindsides and jokes.
I mean, she's making moves. It's just they've been wrong. She flipped on her tribe, sided with Liana, played her advantage. At every instance when she's tried to make a move, it just failed.
Yeah.
So you got to respect her game, but hasn't panned out. But there was one thing in this episode that made it worthwhile. We finally got a Heather confessional.
Heather confessional, baby. Let's go. Heather alert. Oh man, even though Heather actually was a big part of this episode, in a negative sense, but it's a confessional is a confessional, bro.
Yeah, super interesting. No, I mean, interesting episode. Don't think it topped last one, but it started off with the Yase tribe. I don't know how you pronounce it. The Yellow tribe.
The Yase 3.
Yeah, and I agreed with Evie's sentiment. I mean, with the whole like comparing turtles. That wasn't just like a show thing. I mean, it really felt like they were the next like Matt Singh. Like the first couple episodes, you're like, okay, this is the next Malcolm and Denise. The guys are going to stick together through it all. And man, they just all kind of turned on each other. Now, to be fair, I don't think they were ever as close as the editing would lead you to believe. Like, it always felt like Evie and Xander never were on the same page. It always felt like Tiffany and Xander, Tiffany and Evie. Really, Liana and Evie were the only 2 that felt tight. And then, obviously, once Liana linked up with Chantel, that was it.
Yeah, I mean, Liana, we saw last episode, as soon as merge happens, we see Liana just immediately break away from that Yase 4 to make it a Yase 3. And she becomes Chantel's sidekick. I personally think we'll see Liana at the end because she's just played such a terrible game.
Yeah.
I would carry Liana to the end if I was Danny, Deshawn, or Chantel.
For sure. Yeah. Just don't think she has anywhere near a resume as someone like Chantel or Deshawn has. A lot working against her right now. Also, sorry guys, I'm at a WeWork right now. You know what that is. So as people all around me working, so I got to keep my voice down a little bit. So Gideon will be the loud, exciting guy in this episode, and I'll be the NPR radio host, whose comment everyone does like a midnight hour special. Consider it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Yellow Tribe is completely fractured. Everyone is scrambling. Everyone's apologizing. It seemed like, oh man, they made this huge move. Really, Xander made the move. It was revealed that Evie gave up Xander's secrets, which, to be fair, when she went on that journey with Deshawn, her and Xander hadn't really been tight at that point, so spilling his secrets wasn't a huge deal, but once they did get tight, she should have been like, hey, just so you know, I told Deshawn, which obviously she didn't. So there's a lot of sketchiness with everyone. And then if you think about it, like, oh, people are like, oh, Xander was so smart in telling Evie or not playing the idol. If Sydney hadn't rolled the dice, Evie would have gone home. So it wasn't like, oh, Xander counted right. It was just sort of got lucky with Sydney playing the what do you call it? What do they call it? The shot in the dark.
Shot in the dark.
Yeah. So the Yellow Tribe is just fractured, which is so funny because we thought they would be the Matt Singh of this season, and they ended up being, I don't even know who you'd compare it to. Who was the Foa? No, not Foa, the other one, the one that was like had all the numbers, and then they came to the merge and just got torn apart.
Yeah. I mean, the Yase 3, you know, they go on this apology tour, trying to get tight. Like Evie's trying to rekindle her relationship with Deshawn that me and you thought would be a strong factor, but ended up not meaning anything.
Yeah.
You know, we see Xander saying he wants to get in on it, and you know he's saying that to everybody, and so is Tiffany. Who is Tiffany talking to? Heather?
She talked to a couple different people. I don't know. It was honestly so many people were talking to so many different people at the start of this episode. It was tough to keep track of it all.
Yeah.
It was chaos.
Anyways, I have a theory that because of the outcome that Tiffany and Heather were tighter than the edit led you to believe. But you know, so I'm sure Tiffany talked to Heather too. Maybe that's why I was thinking Heather. But yeah, you know, they go on this apology tour, and I thought it was funny because like the edit was like making it seem like, oh, they're already working their way in, like manipulating, and then just like Danny or Deshawn just shuts it down and is like, these fools like are trying to like, you know, say that they want to change this game around. They're on the bottom, you know, which is exactly what was happening.
Right. Yeah. What was interesting when we went into the reward challenge was the whole where we were kind of told about the secret advantage. I guess that's kind of been done before. Just never directly told the camera when he was going to do one before, but
it's been shown.
The whole challenge was kind of based around this advantage, and then they just didn't. He didn't even do it. It was cool because he, of course, volunteered. And I've always wondered that, like, if we ever get Jeff on, when we get Jeff on the show, one thing I want to ask him is, like, how many idols and advantages have just not been found? Because right now the assumption is, oh, every advantage or idol the show's ever put into place has been found, but that can't be true. As we saw in today's episode, there's probably been some stuff that's been hidden. I mean, there's been times when we knew an idol was there on a tribe and no one found it. Did anyone find the Matt Singh idol? In Philippines?
Yes.
Who found it?
Didn't Malcolm find it after Russell got voted out?
Maybe.
I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Doesn't matter. There has been, I know for a fact there's been idols hidden at rewards that weren't found. You know, crap like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Evie with the fast puzzle completion there. That was incredible.
It was incredible. I respect Xander's decision though to sit out of that challenge, because even if he didn't find the idol, what he said was spot on, and I loved it. Is that you'd rather be with the majority who's pissed off at the minority eating the food.
Yeah.
You know? And it
sure.
ended up working. He didn't win immunity, but he didn't go home. So yeah, obviously they wanted him still in the game.
He's made some interesting moves this season. Some moves that like haven't really been made before.
I'm a big Xander fan, and what's funny is I mentioned this to you on a previous podcast, is that I said I would lose all the reward challenges on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like I of course it's probably hard to do it out there because you're hungry, but I would. I think that's a smart move to literally throw every reward challenge, because one, it lowers your threat level.
Rewards.
Individual
or team.
Sit out if you can, whatever. It's like, I mean, that was perfect opportunity. It's believable because Erica did draw the short end of the stick with the edge, with the rock draw, and then going to, you know, what is it called? Exile. So yeah, I think it was a great move by Xander. The edit didn't make it seem like anybody was pissed at Xander for doing that. Actually, Chantel and Liana were confiding in Xander about how like hungry they were and stuff, and Xander is over here like, yeah, keep me in the game. You know, I thought it was genius.
Yeah. No, he's definitely in the running for MVP of the episode. We'll do that at the end of the episode, of course. Yeah, Evie just killed that. It was cool because it was the first time that Jeff kind of mentioned any sort of thing that I could remember in Survivor history. Anything of the sense of like doing your research, practicing before you get on. Because of course they've always edited the show to make you think that everybody on the show is like a super fan.
Yeah.
When in actuality, it's so not that. There's people even in recent seasons that never seen an episode of the show coming into it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's interesting that he did that.
Evie having a Spencer Blezeldo, you know, type of game today.
Spencer what?
Spencer, what's his name? Bledsoe? Is that his name?
Bledsoe.
Spencer Bledsoe type of game with the pre-memorized puzzles and standing on your tippy toes with the block on your head and winning. Reminding me a lot of Spencer. I like it.
Yeah, and then she, of course, won the. She kind of won both challenges, if you think about it.
I know she did. This was Evie dominating the challenge aspect of this episode for sure. But before we talk about the challenge, let's talk about what happened back at camp when the grilled cheese was being eaten. Adam, I have to ask you an age-old question that will go down and be memorized by Survivor fans forever. It'll probably become a puzzle one day to solve.
Mm-hmm.
Would you eat the papaya?
I totally would. I can't believe Chantel got so mad at Ricard. Like it seems like she was so locked in and focused in the first like 3-4 episodes. I mean, she won our MVP award, which in the Survivor community, the Adam and Gideon MVP award, like that's
a big deal.
Prestigious. It's like one of the Heisman in college football, guys.
I tell you what, Adam, though, I'm glad we finally disagree on something because it seems like we've been agreeing too much lately. I would not have eaten the papaya. Okay. I don't think Chantel should have made as big a deal about it. Maybe should have said something snarky in the confessional, like she has been. Saying something directly to Ricard's face and, you know, scolding him for it. And to everybody else, of course. I mean, if I'm Ricard, dude, I gotta be getting sick of Chantel at this point. I wouldn't have eaten the papaya personally. I would have, you know, been happy with it.
Piece? He only picked one piece though. It's not like he
Well,
picked like
he found out he was allergic to papaya after that. He had never
really.
had it before, and yeah,
Oh, I mean, did he say that in the episode?
he said it on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he tweeted that after, so maybe that's why he only ate one piece. That he had karma, right? Karma. Anyways,
Jeez.
but
Well, Ricard, if you're watching this, when we hang out with you after the season, we will not bring papaya.
Yeah.
I was still eating it though. I agree with everything he said. He's like, what is he supposed to do? It's just not eat? Like it's food for the tribe. Now, if he went over and ate a whole bunch, okay, that's a little weird. But one piece, I, I don't think.
Well, is it? He should have like sat down. What I would have done if I wanted to eat the papaya. Let me explain my papaya strategy.
Maybe he could ask first.
I would sit down next to Chantel. I would say, Chantel, what is that? And Chantel would go, that's papaya. And then I would go, I have never had that before. That is crazy. And then obviously with my manipulation skills, Chantel would go, oh, well, have this little sliver here just to get the taste. Boom.
It's too much. It's too much. You don't have to put survivor strategy into eating papaya. It's just,
I'm a gamer. I can't help it. I'm a strategic mastermind. There's strategy behind everything I do if I ever get on that island. Trust me.
Here's the question we should walk away from that situation asking us. After seeing that, is there any chance that this alliance lasts that much longer?
No, and if I'm Ricard, I am ready to turn on Chantel. I really feel like, especially from the preview for the next episode, that people are starting to wise up to Chantel. Her stock has just been steadily going down and down and down every episode, and she's coming off lately as just whiny. I can't stand it, Adam. I can't stand it. And here's the thing, right? The editors know what they're doing. I feel like if she's making me feel that way, then she's going to get cut soon. That's how I feel. I feel like if they're giving her these confessionals where she's acting like a total douchewad, like I feel like she's going to go soon, and I feel like it might be next episode. People eventually, I mean, Deshaun has had it. We saw it, already. Deshaun's already going like, okay, go ahead, tell me what to do, mafia pastor, whatever you want to call yourself. When in fact, Chantel's very vulnerable. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's like over the last couple episodes, she's kind of becoming what we said we feared she would be just based on the research we did of her preseason, where we thought she would come across as, she's just having trouble communicating with people, controlling her emotions. She's being super paranoid, condescending. Stock
is it the lack of calories? Like, are you just going crazy?
It's definitely a factor. Definitely at least a factor for sure.
Is it lack of calories? And
no one else is having this sort of mini meltdowns.
Well, Survivor takes a mental toll on you, and I feel like the mental toll gets to people more than it does to others, and we might be seeing this with Chantel, as opposed to the Yase 3, who also hadn't eaten. Xander has probably eaten the least out of everybody, but some people can just dish what they can't, can dish it out. But I don't know. I feel like Chantel. I also feel like Chantel was used to this controlled gameplay because she did control Ricard a little bit over at UA, and it's just not flying when you have alphas. Chantel's an alpha, but it's not going to work when you have other alphas like Danny and Deshaun who, want to do their thing too.
Right.
It's an alliance for a reason, and if you want to be the figurehead of the alliance, you also better be ready to go home soon, because people who are the boss usually leave next episode.
What'd you think of the rice bartering? I liked it.
It was good. If Angelina was there, it would have been two people sat on the bench. Um, Look, production wants it to happen. Production wants people to sit out. Jeff wants people to sit out. You probably could have done less than four, but apparently
Right.
just people aren't thinking too bright. Everybody that stepped up had an idol beside Ricard. That's one thing that I noted. Everybody stepping up, already had safety. And I feel like Ricard stepped forward to make up for the papaya incident, maybe.
Maybe.
Well, it's Chantel leading the whole thing. If you're Chantel's right hand man, you got to step forward. I understand Ricard stepping forward. I personally wouldn't have done it. Right, because I could have stood up there longer than 3 minutes. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would have done it. Yeah, with adding the compromise, Jeff said 7, and they met halfway. Then Xander said 4, and I liked it because it's interesting that those 4 stepped up. Like if you would have asked me, like if you look, see if I can put up this. If you would have said, pick the 4 that would not have stepped up, I probably would have said.
I would say Nasir number 1. I would say there's no way Nasir would step up. He's too much of a competitor.
Yeah, Danny.
I'd say Nasir, Xander, Danny, maybe Ricard.
Yeah, and 3 of those 4 did. Really interesting.
I
know. So they're really. It was funny because every time Survivor's done that challenge, they've always had to do the fade out or the pan up to the sun, pan back down 2 hours later. With this, they just played it. There was no cutting because it was so short.
It was 4 minutes. It was ridiculous, and like, bro, do you just think this is a cast that isn't good at balance, or do you just think this cast isn't good at challenges?
Well, and the food.
Forget the food. I feel like we're blaming the food too much here because some of these people had just had a grilled cheese meal, and we're only 14 days into the game.
Right.
I honestly feel like people are hyperinflating the food situation, trying to make it seem like it's like they already might as well be day 40 in Africa right now with 14 days no food in Fiji. Like I don't know if I agree with the premise here. Yeah. I feel like adrenaline should last you longer than 3 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't know.
I don't know if this cast just isn't good at challenges, or because we were talking about this episode 1 and 2, right? We were just like, what's going on with the cast? Like, why can't they just figure out these challenges? Because it's a very entertaining cast.
Yeah. I will say not only was I surprised that those 4 did sit out, I was really surprised that Heather didn't sit out because there's no way she was going to win that challenge.
She almost did.
And it's not. Yeah, but that's because all the best athletes stepped down.
Man, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
We get back, and this was either just bad editing or another horrible move on Liana's part, because she said she hopes she laid out at the beginning of pre-tribal. She said, "This is what I want. This is what I want to happen." She hopes that Xander plays her idol, and Tiffany goes home. And then the next thing that happens after that is she tells Xander that they're all voting Tiffany. So either they edited out of order, or Liana just made another huge mistake. Now, Tiffany did end up being the one to go home, but she didn't flush the idol, which was her plan. What do you think? Because I was like, she's like, I want Xander to play the idol and Tiffany to go home. And then, literally a second later, she told Xander.
I think Liana's playing an outward game and trying to play like her Idols of Survivor strategizing when there's really no brains going on with the strategizing. Yeah. I don't understand. It might be the edit. I'm not gonna just completely rag on Liana, but The way the edit is making it seem is that Liana's completely clueless. Now, I hope I'm wrong, but, you know.
Mm-hmm. Other interesting thing that happens. Okay, does everyone not know that Nasir has an idol?
They know. They know for sure.
They have to know.
Liana said she knew. Everybody knows. Everybody knows about Nasir's idol. I just don't think it's
But they never mention it.
Well, Liana mentioned it. I did. Liana did mention it in the episode.
Okay. It's just like they talk about Xander's idol all the time.
It's because Xander's on the bottom and most likely
they talk
play
about
it.
Chantel's idol somewhat often, but like no one ever mentions Nasir's idol.
They know
he clearly
Nasir
said
has an idol.
the goat and AstroTurf thing. But here's what I want to know: why is Chantel so much more wanting to get out Xander than she is Nasir? Because if you think about it, they both have an idol. They're both great in challenges. Probably the two best challenge competitors of the season. Both have a great social game going. The only difference is Xander's at the bottom. No one is working with him except, I guess, Tiffany maybe. But so they can really vote him out anytime. Whereas Nasir is in like somewhat of a power position. He's a big threat. So it's like, why is Chantel so much more locked in on Xander? It's like she made that decision first, and then just like she won't never change her mind. Especially when Deshaun and Danny pitched that, and she was just like, no, I made up my mind. It's just like a lot of Chantel's. It's just weird. Like her first 3-4 episodes, she was just like 10 out of 10, and it's just like since she voted out JD, it's just like It's like a different player. I don't know. Who do you think is a bigger threat right now, Nasir or Xander? I think
Nasir's the bigger threat. But it's because we know that. I don't know if they know that. You know, to them, Nasir may be coming off as completely clueless, you know, and Xander's very well spoken. They might, I don't know. It could be a thing where they don't think Nasir's a threat at the end, when the only person that thinks Nasir is a threat at the end is Danny and Deshaun, which is very smart because they're taking into account his story. I think Chantel might be underestimating Nasir. Maybe because he's not as well spoken as Xander. But you don't know.
Hasn't had any flashy moves yet.
Yeah, hasn't had any flashy moves yet. Exactly. But I mean, who's in the better position? You know, Xander did make a good move from the bottom.
Yeah. Well, long story short, going into tribal council, Heather had a confessional. Chantel's losing her grip. She's also like taking the lead. Like every conversation, it seems like she's the leader. Which, like,
well, you know, pastors in power. You know,
the only other time, like, you know, like Kim was the leader of the Girls Alliance in one world, but like no one felt that she was the leader. She was like the low key leader. You know, she had to do a lot of fake conversations and lies, and she gave herself options. Chantel was just like, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. It's just like, how does she think that is going to get her to the end? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
all the best leaders that have ever come out of Survivor have used, you know, Freud's method of making people think that it's their idea to vote somebody out when it was really yours, but they think it was their idea. That's the best way to play it. And I think, you know, Chantel might need to read some psychology books after this.
Yeah. Also, going into tribal council, I had no clue who was going home. Like, I had no idea.
Really? I knew it was Tiffany as soon as like the strategizing started. I was like, it's Tiffany. They're gonna pull this Australian Survivor bull crap and try to make us think it's somebody else. It's just gonna be Tiffany. That's it. And that's maybe it's because I've been watching too much Australian Survivor, but you know.
I did like the whispering in this tribal council. I know Christian here didn't like it, but in this tribal council, I liked the whispering because I could follow what was happening. I knew who was aligning with who. I knew who created the ideas, who was passing. I could follow it. As long as I can follow the action and what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine. Still didn't know what was going to happen, because of course Heather threw that wrench in there. First time we really talked about Heather ever. But she threw that wrench in there, where she wanted to switch it up and vote for who? Who did she want to change it to? Right?
This year.
Yeah. Which there was a theory going around on Twitter or something that was planned. That it was planned um, for Heather to switch the vote up so that Xander would think, oh, Tiffany's safe and not play his idol. I don't think he was playing his idol either way. That would be interesting because, but if that was true, why would they make Heather be the one to do it? Maybe because it's like, oh, she's such a loose card. Who knows what she'll do? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the only attractive part about Heather voting Heather is just that she is unpredictable and knows she's on the bottom.
Yeah. Do you think, I wanted to ask you this, because I have an opinion. So Ricard tells Xander to play his idol multiple times in a very sincere way. Do you think that's because he wanted to flush the idol, or was he genuinely scared for him?
You thought Ricard was being sincere?
No, I said it came across as sincere.
No, it freaking didn't.
I mean, he wasn't like, dude, you should play your idol. He was like, dude, seriously, like, I think you might have to.
Dude, maybe it's just because I'm an actor, but dude, that was terrible. Ricard, that was not subtle at all from Ricard, man. Ricard, look, Adam, would you trust me if I was like this with you at Tribal Council, and I knew you had an idol?
100%.
Dude, play your idol. No, trust me, dude, play your idol. Of course not. Like, you're trying to flush it. That's as subtle as Amanda Kimmel was, like, trying to get Poverty to play hers on herself, in Heroes versus Villains. It was bad. It was like that bad. I mean, I understand, like trying to get him to flush his idol, but if I was Xander and Ricard came to me and said that, I would know to not play my idol because you're trying to flush it. I actually think Ricard did the opposite. I think Ricard got Xander to not play his idol by telling him to play it.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. Okay, Tiffany goes home, and share my screen one more time so you guys can see our fantasy teams.
They've taken out two Jews back to back. Who's next? Who's the other Jew? Evie?
I think there's 4 Jewish people this season, right?
I know. They're just massacring Jews the past 2 episodes. Terrible.
By coincidence.
Yeah. This cast is not anti-Semitic.
Yes. Nor are we. The preview for next week's episode. Finally, a good preview. Every preview has been so boring. I don't even watch them anymore. I mean, I do, but I don't look forward to watching them. But next week's seems like some is going down. Yeah, we have a younger audience sometimes with this show, so I wanted to blur that out. But excited for next episode. Apparently, there's 5 episodes left.
Wow.
Right. 5 in the.
It's not that much.
Because it's going to be a 4-person finale, or 6-person finale. So, where is it? Oh shoot! I exited out. Hold on. Stall them. Tell them it's Survivor joke.
What's the best part about being on Survivor?
All right. So, because so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 3. We have 3 episodes and then the finale. That's it. So take with that information as you will. Some people are probably going to be like, oh, okay, cool. That means we can wrap the season up. And some people are probably like, oh, that means I won't get time to see the season amp up. But we'll see. Did you see they announced Survivor 42?
Yep, looking forward to it in March. I'll be
March?
in...
First week of March?
Yep,
You'll be
March.
where?
I'll be freaking in my third semester of college.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if this season ends in 4 weeks, that would mean
Are they having a
one,
live
two.
finale, or is it still going to be over Zoom?
No, they recorded the finale already. They already picked the winner.
I meant a reunion. Sorry.
Oh, I feel like they'll do it in person.
Yo, can we pull up to that or no?
Yeah.
Are we allowed? Can't. We're
We
press.
can pull up. We can pull up. The question is, can we enter? That I don't know.
You're right.
But we're gonna try. We're going to try. So as of now, the finale is going to be on December 8th, which means we will get January. We get 3 months no Survivor. So during that off season, we're gonna have some great interviews with contestants. I think there's 18 contestants. We have 10 contestants confirmed for exit interviews as after the season ends, or at least they told us they want to. We're going to talk to CBS and see what their rules and restrictions are, but we will get exit interviews with at least half the cast. I promise you guys that. Those interviews aren't live. We pre-record them. If you would like to see those interviews early, you can become a member. Become a member of the channel like Barry Dean is. Okay, great guy, Barry Dean. Okay, I trust my kids with that guy. Take a bullet right here, right in the shoulder for that guy. Shout out to Barry Dean.
I catch a grenade for Barry Dean.
Jump in front of a train for you. I thought we were doing the Bruno Mars thing.
We are.
Yeah, I don't remember the rest of the song, but anyway, become a member. All you got to do is go to the channel. Next to subscribe, hit join. Two tier ranks. Tier 1 member, Tier 2 member. Tier 1's only $5 a month. Get to see interviews early. Get to be in a raffle for free for a Survivor 41 buff, merge buff. And if you're a Tier 2, you get the potential to actually sit in on the interviews themselves. So we have exit interviews with Xander, with Nasir, with Sydney. You can actually sit in on those. You're not going to be like on the broadcast like you see me and Gideon's names are on the screen right now, but you get to be in the back room. Maybe you get to say hi. Maybe you get to ask them a question. $9.99 for that tier rank. So go to our channel, subscribe if you haven't already, then hit join. But just wanted to kind of plug that in there before we finish this episode. But who's your player of the episode this week? This is a tough one. This is the toughest one yet.
I have to give it to Evie. Evie with the immunity win, even though it wasn't that impressive. But, still, a win's a win. And also, that puzzle, man, the way she put that puzzle together, I was like, what the heck? That was insane. Also, like, she didn't have a bad game strategically either. Did a good job. Like, hasn't really hurt her status anywhere, and she saved herself from getting voted out. So, I gotta give it to Evie.
I somewhat hate that we've agreed on every one so far, but yeah, I'll give it to Evie. So Evie got the first week. Then it was this is episode 8. So it's Evie 3 weeks of there's 2 episodes the first week. We give it to we just did Evie.
It was Evie, JD.
We did JD for like fan favorite of the week, but we haven't really been doing that ever since.
Oh, okay, Evie.
But I think just like player.
It was Evie Chantel for like 3 weeks. Then it was Ricard.
And then Xander last week. Yeah, so little mix. So we're going back full circle. And then we haven't done this in like 3 weeks, but do you want to do just real quick, like 3 most likely to win, 3 most likely not to win?
3 most likely to win for me are Deshaun, number 1, Xander, number 2, and then third, I would probably give it to Evie. I'll probably give it to Evie third.
Sean, Xander, Evie. I will say Ricard, Danny, and Xander.
Well, we just completely disagree there. Besides Xander, so there you go.
3 most likely not to win: Liana, Heather, and Erica.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And Chantel's starting to enter that category. I'm not gonna lie, Chantel's stock is falling, bro. I don't know.
Who's been your fan favorite? Like, if we had to pick fan favorite,
Who
of the
have I
season so
loved
far,
watching? Like, who's my
it's gotta
favorite?
It's got to be Nasir, right?
Oh, 100%. I'm in love with Nasir. Nasir and Xander are probably two most likable, like, just love to watch people so far.
Who from this season, or who that's left, would you like to see return again?
I want to see Ricard return. I want to see Nasir return. I don't really want to see Chantel or Liana, to be honest.
Unless Chantel like has a big comeback and just kills it. But at this point,
Evie, I mean, like I said, the world needs another Spencer. I mean, Evie can step in and be the new Spencer. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And then who's your? What do we? How much do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so after next episode, we'll be halfway through the cast. So if you had to pick your winner pick, I know it was Deshaun, who would it be right now? If you had to pick one person,
if I had to put money on somebody, I'd put money on Deshaun.
And if I had my money on someone, it'd still be Ricard.
Okay. Well, then we stuck with it, haven't we?
Imagine if that was the final two.
Bro, you and I predicted it, dude. That's all I'm gonna say is you and I called it from the beginning who we thought would be power players. Well, I was a little off with what's her name that second. Sarah, right?
11. I just counted 11 of these players have said they would come on Survivor Bus for an exit interview. So, and we're hoping we can get the other 7 through those 11. But yeah. So cool. Miss anything?
I don't think you missed anything, brother.
All right, guys. As always, like the video, subscribe, join, become a member. Leave a comment. Who's your winner pick? Who's your fan favorite? And who's your winner pick? Let's see what you guys think. Till then, stay thirsty.